I know I'm a bit late to the party for this figure, but I have been busy with college and stuff. It definitely had nothing to do with the fact that I'm a lazy bitch. Figma to be, or Figma not to be. Figma to balls. I pre-ordered her from the Good Smile Global website, which means I got the bonus. More on that later. I have never owned a Figma because my point of reference for them was the Chainsaw Man line, and that was, well, interesting. But I like Nier Automata, even though I have not finished the game yet. Crazy, I know. So I decided to give their to-be figure a shot. And I'm glad I did, because this figure is awesome. Out of the box, I was especially surprised by the quality of the plastic compared to my SHF Chainsaw Man. The sculpt and details are spot on, but let's start with the head. It looks great. The blindfold is well detailed and the hair has some grey shading that I really like. This is based on the anime, so her head is a bit bigger and more round compared to the game. And speaking of big and round, her skirt is not big but goes around her waist. I need therapy. The white lines that decorate the skirt are painted with surgical precision. I haven't noticed any mistakes. Figma has done an excellent job with these. As for the skirt itself, it's made out of soft plastic and is painted white inside. It's not the cleanest paint job in the world, but I do not care. Who's gonna stare under her skirt anyway? Not you, I hope. But if you do, you'll find that the underwear is white, which is accurate to the source material. Don't ask me how I know that. But now it's time to move on to what you guys want to see. The arms, which look good, but I just wish that the feathers had a little more detail. By the way, what are these things at the back of the shoulders? I have no clue. Someone tell me in the comments, please. And before I forget, some joints have a slight color mismatch, but it's not a big deal. So far, the figure is excellent. The sculpt and paint applications are flawless, and that's a massive plus in my book. You know what else is massive? Her sword, Virtuous Treaty. This follows the same trend as 2B, good sculpting and nice paint applications. You can remove the tip of the handle to allow the sword to slide into 2B's hands. Something that caught my attention was how ridiculously light it feels. But that's done on purpose to help with more dynamic poses. And of course, you also get Virtuous Contract, which is actually my favorite sword in the game because it allows you to go brrr. However, I cannot say the same about the real thing. This piece is way too loose, and that makes it super annoying to use. Not impossible, but annoying as fuck. On a side note, I would have preferred if Figma used a more metallic paint for the blades, similar to what Takara used for the thighs of MP44S. And speaking of thighs, Pod here doesn't have any, cause he's got no legs. But he has a pair of hands with some degree of articulation. The head can rotate, oh shit, and if you check below, you'll see a hole. And if you take this included accessory, you can plug it right in. Now you can clip this assembly to this other arm and connect everything to this included Figma base. But it looks boring and I'm not gonna use it. Instead, I'll use this bonus Nier Automata base. It doesn't look particularly amazing either, but I like the slight rubberized coating it has. Once you have everything assembled, you get a nice stand that helps with a lot of dynamic poses. But before we talk about posability, we first have to take a look at these beautiful faceplates. They are all quite easy to remove and swap around. Yes, there are only 4, but they are very expressive and give a ton of versatility when posing. Though I have to say, I don't know what's the deal with the red eyes. I have read somewhere that they are related to one of the endings, but I've been very careful to avoid spoilers. I know what some of you are thinking. Don't you dare! As for the hands, you get 4 pairs. Relaxed hands, grabby hands, closed fists, and hands for the swords. But that's not all. You can use these hands to pretend that she's grabbing a big, fat microphone. You also get one right hand specifically designed to hold her black box. I don't really know what's the use of this because you can do it with any of the other hands. But hey, it's there. Just be careful with the box, it's very easy to lose. And finally, you get a spare wrist joint and an extra piece for the stand. Though I don't really know what the purpose of this is. Accessories are cool. Heck, they even leave the SHF in the dust. But what really makes this figure shine is the articulation. The head can rotate all the way around, can look up and down. It leaves a small gap when looking up, but the hair design allows for a good range without breaking the sculpt. Because of the joint Figma used for the head, it has no side-to-side movement. You have to use the ball joint at the neck for that. Shoulders are on ball joints that can rotate 360 degrees, but the left one is way too tight. I'm fucking scared. It goes up 90 degrees. Here's a better look at how this joint works. She has butterfly joints that don't look awful and have really good range, only hindered by her boobs. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow with excellent range, and it moves with the feathers. The wrist can swivel, and depending on how the joint is oriented, the hand can move side to side or up and down. Now the torso is a whole different beast. It has two ball joints that allow some rotation, a nice up crunch that leaves a noticeable gap at the back, and a ridiculous arch back that has no gap whatsoever. I'm really fucking impressed. You also get some side-to-side movement, of course. Since I mentioned ball joints, some of you might be wondering if the skirt is removable. You pervs? The answer is yes, but the figure is clearly not designed to be displayed this way. You're welcome, by the way. The skirt can move out of the way to help with articulation. As for the legs, they have good range. Split is not the best, but you can pull the legs a bit just like this, which will increase the range by just a little. Just be careful when the legs are extended because they can easily detach from the hips. There are ball joints at the boots which can work as a thigh swivel and can also bend in all directions. The knees are single jointed but have good range, and the feet work just like the hands. They can move in different directions depending on the orientation of the joint. Finally, her heels are made of soft plastic. This doesn't do shit for the stability, but at least they won't break. Hopefully. For size comparisons, we have SH Figuarts Chainsaw Man and MP44S Optimus Prime. I sold Light of Peace, and I don't know where my scale is. Figma 2B. What can I say? It has nice accessories, good paint, excellent sculpt, and great range of articulation. It is my favorite action figure at this scale, which doesn't mean much, I only have two, but I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the game or the anime. It's just that good. However, Faceless Prime is back, and if you watch my previous video, you already know what that means. QC issues. Well, it's just one, and it's not that bad. You might have noticed that the neck has a small but annoying defect on the left side. Thankfully, Good Smile has agreed to send me a replacement for that piece. Thanks, Good Smile. You put a smile on my face, but those eyes give me other mother vibes, holy shit. By the way, remember what I said about the sword being light to help with some poses? That was a fucking lie. Still, it's a great figure. Go get one for yourself. Yup, I'm getting her too.